Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance. And today, I'm honestly excited. Not just normal excited. The kind of excited where you log in, look at the update, and you already know something big just shifted in the balance of the game. Because after testing the new Oblivion Skins, two things became very clear. First, Eternity has been highlighted again. Reinforced. Strengthened in a way that feels intentional, not accidental. And second, this goes directly to the devs. Congratulations. Because that Dante skin is simply awesome. Not just visually, mechanically, stat-wise, impact-wise. And with that said, Guardians, no ceremony, no filler. Let's dive in. Because yes, skins normally help heroes. They polish performance. They smooth weaknesses. But they don't usually shift how dangerous a hero feels. Except this time? In one specific case, one hero received a massive boost. And we're going to explain exactly why. Let's start with Octavia. Octavia receives a new health skin. And this was not random. This was not just let's give Octavia something new. This skin clearly exists to help rebalance specific matchups. Ever since Iris received her relics, we've all seen what happened. Iris damage spikes became insane. In a fire scaling plus relic tempo made her capable of deleting targets that previously survived, and yes, that includes Octavia. Octavia's identity is survival, reflection, and punishing enemies who overcommit into her mirrors. The problem recently. Sometimes she wasn't living long enough to let that reflection mechanic decide the fight. And this health skin directly addresses that. More health means more mirror reflection potential. More survivability window. More time for enemies to destroy themselves on her kit. And specifically against Iris, this matters a lot. Because if Octavia survives just a little longer, Iris becomes the one in danger. Now the real question everyone asks. Is this skin mandatory? And the honest Olympus Alliance answer is, no skin is mandatory. Ever. But this one is valuable. If you can afford it, yes, it strengthens her role exactly where she needed help. If you cannot, remember something very important. Octavia reflection damage scales with health. And her first talisman already gives a massive health injection. So you can compensate? Not perfectly, but effectively. So our verdict. Strong skin. Smart release. But not account breaking if you skip. Now let's move to Electra von Grave. Electra receives a Toughness skin. And again, not random. Not cosmetic filler. This is targeted reinforcement. Electra has always had a unique defensive identity. She does not rely on armor or magic defense the same way traditional tanks do. She survives through health pools, damage reflection, and her defensive mechanics that become stronger when she drops below 50% health. And this is exactly where Toughness becomes scary. Toughness activates once a hero drops below half health. And when that happens, incoming damage gets reduced dramatically. Adding roughly 3000 more toughness to Electra's kit means that her danger zone becomes her power zone. The moment enemies think she is about to fall, she becomes harder to kill, slower to finish, more annoying to remove from the battlefield. And that matters massively in longer fights and pressure metas. Is she invincible? Of course not. No hero is. But does this push her survivability into another tier? Absolutely. And in our opinion, yes. This is a very strong skin for Electra. Now, Guardians? Now we reach the monster. Dante. A few weeks ago, Dante received relics. And now, he receives an armor penetration skin plus. And this is where things become insane. First, you need to understand armor. Armor reduces physical damage significantly. If you hit for 10,000 damage, armor can cut that damage in half or more depending on values. Now enter armor penetration. For every point of armor penetration, you directly cancel 1 point of enemy armor. That means if an enemy has 26,000 armor, and you bring 21,000 penetration, suddenly that enemy is fighting almost naked defensively. Now imagine Dante? A hero who already hits fast. Already pressures constantly. Already snowballs fights with tempo. Add huge armor penetration to that. Suddenly targets that previously survived burst. Don't survive anymore. Tanks start melting faster. Backlines become exposed faster. And the scariest part. His fourth skill reduces enemy main stat. And when main stat drops, armor drops even more. Combine that with relic upgrades increasing uptime, debuff duration, and pressure. And suddenly Dante isn't just a damage dealer. He becomes an execution engine. Enemies fight with lower armor, lower stats, lower survivability, and fights collapse faster. And we need to be honest here. At Olympus Alliance, we never push spending. Never. This is a game. Your money, your decision. Always. But facts are facts. And fact is, this skin is massive. And now add something even more interesting. Durain relics. Durain is bringing constant crushing uptime. Debuff pressure. Execution windows. And when you combine Durain pressure with Dante armor penetration burst, we might be looking at a very scary Eternity offensive core. And yes, we will test that. And yes, we will show you real results. Guardians? If you look at the bigger picture, something else is happening here. Eternity is rising again. Warriors and physical damage heroes are being rebalanced into a game that for a long time leaned heavily into mage dominance. And that is healthy for the game. Because diversity creates strategy. And strategy creates longevity. So what's the final verdict? Octavia, smart survivability balance skin. Electra, excellent defensive reinforcement. Dante, game impacting upgrade level skin. And maybe most importantly, the game is showing signs of active balance direction. And that is always good news. Guardians? This is only the beginning. We will keep testing. Keep breaking things. Keep finding what actually works, not theory. Not hype. Real battlefield results. Because that's what we do here. Until then. Stay sharp. Stay strategic. Stay ahead of the meta. And as always, stay tuned, stay sharp. And as always, salute and friendship.